and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with K-Pop Demon Hunters. Directed by Chris Applehands and Maggie Kang. A world-renowned K-pop girl group balance their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters. Right, tonight we are playing on easy mode.
My God, are we on easy mode?
After 37 episodes of Death Note, this is just like
it's kind of like this is after Death Note. This is the equivalent of like the scene at the end where they're all in the bath going like, oh my God, this feels so good. It's like that. It's like this is one of those things where you can just kind of like turn on, switch off, and just like eat biscuits while you're watching it. It's
and
great.
Just watch the shiny lights.
I gotta be honest, I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to, but there were certain bits that made me twitch.
Yeah, I must say, this is obviously made for kids. Let's be honest. This is made for the Rumi audience and kids. And I didn't know what to expect from it. And I enjoyed it more than I should have, I think. Because there's a nice dark undertone.
I'm not sure about being one for the normie audiences, because people have complained that they've been and watched this with their kids. Then they've gone and they've like booked tickets to go and see K-pop concerts, not realizing that K-pop and K-pop Demon Hunters are two totally separate things.
Really?
Oh, normies.
You can look things up if you're not too sure about something, right? There's this bad idea that you can go and look it up. You don't have to pretend to be an expert and everything. I'm not too sure how this works.
But they're normies. Why would they go and look something up if they already know everything? Normies.
Oh man, painful. Absolutely painful. Oh, hi Luna, welcome. Great to see you.
Hello.
First in the chat tonight. But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't get that. That's just blew my mind a bit. Like,
normies. But I came into this. I dropped into this. Didn't read anything. Didn't read anything about it. Figured that I knew exactly what it was going to be, and I was pretty much right.
Right. So, if you're not familiar, Southeast Asia, the Far East, mainly Japan, Korea, Taiwan, countries like that, have this whole thing, idol culture. Now, I think the West came to it late in the game with the talent show things. If I'm right or wrong, I could be. I think I'm right.
I think you're pretty much right with that.
The idol thing has been long-standing part of Southeast Asian culture.
But idol culture is out there, never took off in the West, and I don't think it ever will.
No, I think the West maybe latched onto it, and that's where the games. I think the West is a facsimile of the idol culture. I think it it's been going far too long, but they dialed up to 11. Like they go for it. Like there's no F buts or maybes. Idol culture in Southwest Asia is just metal.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of idol culture.
I don't like. I'm not a fan. I don't like pop music. I don't like that sort of talent show shite. You know what I mean?
I don't mind. I don't mind pop music. It's just the way that they place the idols on a platform, and they never allow them to step off that platform until they retire.
No, and you can see it. Like a band I'm familiar with, Baby Metal. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah.
You can see with their interviews and stuff, they're so staged, they're so controlled. I feel sorry for the wee girls. Like, well,
it kind of like
they're hitting they're near hitting 30 years of age now.
Yeah, if you're old enough to remember this kind of thing, or you're a fan of the movies, it's the same. They do the same thing to the idols as Hollywood did to the stars back in like the 30s and the 40s. I mean, it's like if for whatever reason you decide to read on like the movie history of Julie Garland or something like that, she was controlled. She was on puberty blockers, so she stayed young. She was on drugs. She was on uppers to keep her going. She was on downers to calm her down.
Yeah,
She was at
with
the beck
Marilyn
of
Monroe
all of
and Elvis Presley
yeah.
and all that. Once that celebrity, that's why I have no time for celebrity. And if you're chasing celebrity, you're a fool. Like if you want that lifestyle, do a bit of research into what it does to you. You know, it's horrible. This is obviously a lighthearted look, but there's still undertones
Mm.
of what that culture is. And also, as we have started off this whole anime segment with the Kochi Kon's Perfect Blue, where we know about the darker side of idol culture. You know, that movie is
Perfect Blue is
on a
still one of even though it's so short, it will always be one of my favorite horror movies.
yeah, and that's just using this environment and just showing, you know, peeking behind the curtain. The movie is right. The movie is worth a watch. Don't expect much from it. That obviously we're going to go into the review, but you don't go into this sort of movie. It's not. It's popcorn flick. It's really, just switch your brain off. Shiny lights
Yeah,
for an hour and
it's
a
like
half. But there's a
it's
story under there. There's a well told story under there, which I was surprised by the way it was crafted.
yeah. I agree with that. I wasn't coming into this. Like I say, I thought I knew what I was going to expect, but I didn't expect the story to be quite as deep as it was.
Yeah, which is once again storytelling. You can
It's
right.
nice because it's like, even though I sat down not expecting a great deal from this, I actually sat down not expecting to enjoy it. But do you know what? The story is actually complicated enough and deep enough that it held my interest through the entire thing.
Yeah, that was a thing. I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting shiny light gags, whatever. But no, I was expecting Disney. Let's be honest. I was
Yeah,
when you think of
it's like
like something that targeted. This was obviously marketed towards a Western audience. I was expecting Disney, and thankfully, I didn't get that.
so, the term I was looking for before when I was struggling words was surprisingly deep.
Hmm.
There's an unexpected depth to this one.
But it could be like any other, like it could be any other Saturday morning cartoon, just the premise of it on the surface. For example, we've got the band, they're called Huntrix, and they're pop stars by day and then they hunt demons. Like it's really on the nose. And they're actually serving a dual purpose because it's not Hannah Montana or anything like that there. Their actual singing and bringing the audience on board is what powers the honeymoon. And the honeymoon is this barrier between the human world and the demon world. And as long as the honeymoon is maintained, then the human world is safe from the demon world. Like it's such a simple premise.
I
But
love the fact that the thing that actually like maintains the home moon is like an idol concert.
yeah, just and they actually went through the history of explaining this has always been a thing with like three women are chosen to perform, bring people together, use music because it's the heart of people, the fans, the powers the honeymoon, and keeps it strong and keeps the world safe. And it's such a simple premise. And it was told in what 2 minutes during the intro.
That's the great thing, is like a story doesn't need to be complicated. I mean, if they'd have spent like half the running time telling us the story, would it have made the film any better?
No, they didn't need to. They did it all in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. This is why they're out singing as well. This is why they've chosen this, because this is the thing. It's the warrior poet, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, and it's the warrior poet philosophy of the two sides, you know, yin and yang, and uh temper the soft with the hard, and you're still a warrior. And I like that. Like I was just done and dusted. You knew exactly where you were, why they were doing what they were doing. There wasn't these silly, convoluted reasons for it, and they just got stuck in. Brilliant.
Serious subject with all the fun.
Mhm.
Serious question. Who was your favorite character?
Oh, it has to be Rumi. Just, she's struggling with her parentage or heritage. She's been told that she's not good enough, or she has to hide who she is, and very nearly cost the world because she couldn't reconcile that. But then also because she had bad mentorship, which is another
Mm,
thing. If you have a bad teacher, if you have a bad upbringing, you're set in the wrong path. And some people never realize that and go down the wrong path. Some people have an epiphany, you know what I mean? And they can get past it. And her journey to me was the best.
mm. It's almost like the hero's journey, but in reverse. I think because it's like where you start off with a really really strong character who seems like they've got no weaknesses, no doubts whatsoever in who they are. But through the length of the movie, it's like their doubts,
Yeah, but
their issues,
that's even
all
explained at the
come
start with their manager. Don't show any weakness, don't show any instability. That's what lets the enemy in. You know what I mean? All three of them had that pushed onto them from like no age. And that was even brought up with the meeting. Remember the meeting in the office?
Yep.
And then it was that was sort of brought up that they sort of sing it. It's like a mantra.
To answer Luna's question, is it worth a watch? I think so.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun.
I don't think it's no. Let me rephrase that. There is a meaning to the story, a very strong meaning. But I think it's more fun than anything else.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're allowed to have fun. I'm all for having a bit of fun and just enjoying myself for an hour and a half. Not everything has to be deep philosophical, let's navel gaze for 5 hours afterward, on every line and every moment of dialogue or every action. What does it all mean? Sometimes it just lays it out in the tin and you get on with it.
I was expecting hoppy boppy teeny boppy fun. I wasn't expecting something quite as deep as that.
And the thing is, they almost have it. It's self-aware. Like we see the teenage fans, and they're appearing, and like that's frightening in itself. Imagine having somebody that if they see you, they will lose their mind. And multiply it
For
by
me,
1,000, like
that's my everyday. That is.
no, I'm still I can still go about business and not be no, but I just you know what I mean? That whole idea of fandom and wanting that level
Yeah,
of
the
adulation.
whole idea of fame
No,
and
I'm
everything fame brings with it.
which is funny being on a YouTube channel, you know what I mean, in front of a camera and mic and stuff, and a couple of thousand subscribers at this point. It's still. I would like to think everyone watching is just level headed and just enjoys the chat and comes along for it. I would hate to think somebody's out there going, because that would be freaky as fuck. That I would know how to deal with that.
It's fandom.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to deal with that. Seriously, I just would be like, "What are you doing? It's only me. Calm yourself down. Oh, stop it! Stop it now!"
Stop it! Go and have a shower or something, for God's sake.
Yeah, that would be like, "What are you doing?" Um,
I'd be amused because I know how much you would kind of like flap if that happened.
yeah, I'd just be like, "Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you?" But anyway, they sort of have a bit of a jab about that, don't they? They sort of make it like people will blindly follow anything, and it's especially the whole boy band, girl band thing. It's mainly aimed at teenagers, and it's not even about them. It's just releasing hormones and having something to scream at and put posters on the wall. It's more the act than whoever it is, because most of these are disposable. You know what I mean? They're here 1 minute and gone the next.
Yeah. That's it. Most idols are flawed. Most idols, from what you read, only have careers that's like 2 to 5 years in length, because after that the fandom moves on to the next big thing and they're left with nothing.
Yeah, and that's generally pop music. You know, it's disposable, and yeah, like I said, I don't like it. You know, I don't like the whole culture that comes with it. I don't like the fact that somebody might go into it for the right reasons, you know, wanting to perform, wanting to practice their art. They might want to sing, they might want to dance, you know, just purely for the enjoyment of it. And then they get utterly destroyed by the industry.
Yeah.
I don't like, you know, I don't like that.
Mm. Yeah,
and then there's the other ones, the complete narcissists, who get their 5 minutes of fame, then let it go.
Yeah, the worst ones are the ones that seem to think that they're going to last forever, because they just end up being really nasty.
And we see it over here, like, was it that reality TV stuff? You'll have somebody pop up and like, who the hell is this person? Oh, they're on a reality TV show. Now they're appearing on, like, I mean, they see it through YouTube clips, but all of a sudden you've got this person trying to talk about heavy subjects and they're thick as 2 short planks. You're like, who the hell is this plank? And then you realize they've been in some reality TV show, and then they just can't, they just want to be famous, and they want to live the lifestyle.
It's like the next time you see them, they're on "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here," and you still don't know who they are.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've zero interest in that. So there's 2 sides of the coin. You know what I mean? There's the ones that go in with it and they get absolutely chewed up by the industry, and then there's the ones that want creative fame and adulation because there's something missing in their lives, and yeah, they just become insufferable. They become almost a figure of hate because they just are so obnoxious. And then, of course, you've got the long-standing, you know, that's why I'm a rock metal fan, because you see bands start off, you know, playing bars, you know.
Oh God,
they don't make any money. They've spent more money on their equipment, and they're passing the CDs around. They're trying to, you know, just make it.
This isn't really me humble bragging. I've got an heirloom. It was given to me by my sister. Yeah, it's a leather strap with a press stud on it, and someone by hand using like dowels or whatever has printed the name of the band that she went to see in a pub in Derby. She went with some friends. It was a band no one had ever heard of. Yeah, they'd only just started that. No one even knew who they were. The name of the band, Queen.
Fair one. And that's it. Even they started. God,
yeah.
Sure,
then a few years later,
the reason they got where they were is they gave a free concert. Do you remember that? It was in Hyde Park or something.
Yeah.
They just gave a free concert, and that was it. You know, nobody knew of them, and that's how the. Now, as far as I'm convinced, Queen was Freddie Mercury, because after it, the rest of them are absolute tossers. And
after Freddie Mercury passed away, Queen, they tried to continue, but they just stopped a bit.
They could have just went back, done their own projects, and maybe did reunion concerts every 5-10 years. They still would have been relevant, but there's an example of Brian May's the worst out of them. They just wanted to be famous for the sake of being famous, and then they're the ones appearing talking about this and that. The best one was Brian May talking about climate stuff on a new. Did you see that, the news article?
I did. Yes.
He's talking about how we all need to do this, do that. And he's a big roaring fucking gas fire going behind him.
Yeah.
And even the reporter went, "What's that?" You know, that's, you know, going full that was huge. Like, it wasn't like a small, you know, like a normal person. No, this thing was fucking humongous, and must have been burning, I don't know how much gas.
That's it. It's like there was a big a couple of years ago. There was a big climate control thing in, I think it was LA, I think it was LA. It was somewhere in California anyway. But all these big climate change people, how did they get there? They flew,
private jet,
mostly in private
motorcade,
jets. Yeah.
all their fucking private car. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. That's an example of they don't even have the common sense. Maybe I shouldn't have the big gas running fire right behind me on camera as I'm supposed to be preaching about something. Like that level of hypocrisy, you know, that shows the fame, you know, the craving for fame and attention and relevance, but not
I
actually having the ability to I don't know, carry yourself forward or the charisma or anything else. Because let's be honest, apart from the odd guitar solo, Brian May's a nothing. But he actually became the opposite. You know what I mean? He was adored
yeah.
at the start, and then he's just become another joke.
Yeah, he became famous for playing his guitar. He should have stuck to that.
But no, that's not the thing, isn't it? That can't. That's what I'm saying about this whole thing. And this movie does point at that. It does actually give little subtle nudges and winks to that lifestyle. It just happens that the members of Huntrix, they are almost like a religious order. So this is the difference, is they are actually chosen by this religious order that has been going for centuries, if not thousands of years, for this one purpose. So with that, they have their purpose in life, the battle of demons as well. So when it comes to time, like I said, the warrior poet type thing. And there's also elements of comedy, like and they have almost a nudge and a wink at anime style as well, because it flips. And we see the sort of like pure anime stuff, like with the popcorn eyes and all, and the food
it's like the popcorn eyes turn into the abs eyes, turn into the pineapple eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get the pineapple eye bit, to be quite honest, or the popcorn.
But well, it was the temperature, wasn't it? You know, the raised the temperature when they saw the boy band. I got the joke, you know what I mean, but it's just using.
Oh yeah, it was funny, but it's like the depth of it. Why it was funny, I didn't plumb those. Mm-hmm. But it's like the fact that the boy band turns up and everything starts going wrong is just kind of like how fragile is kind of like the pedestal that they're standing on.
But isn't that always
that being able to save like the entirety of humanity from being like having their souls taken by like a world of demons? All depends on how popular you are.
But is that not the long-standing message? It's relying on the fickleness of fame, and also I think there's a bit of a message or discussion point about social media era, that this is a different era. They have went unchallenged, and this is almost like a legacy media trying to understand the new landscape. If you think about it, so obviously they never give the religion a name, but the record company, you know what I mean? You did not get on the airwaves unless the record company put you there. You did not get that your opening shot unless a record company decided. So if you've got sewn up in the media and you allowed people entry, so these people were placed, and until the social media era, they went unchallenged. So they didn't they didn't have to have introspection. They just had to learn the words, learn the mantra.
Excuse me, you know, during the intro when it was kind of like, I don't know where to put it, samurai era, kind of like pop band, like girl band at the beginning when they first defeated the demons. Mm-hmm. Every single J-pop trio it showed you after that is a real trio that performed in real life.
That's
have fun googling them. Yeah, but it's just kind of like it's cementing the story in reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, they've done that as well. And that's they've done that with Western stuff. You know, used bits of history and just tied it in and stuff. You know, I'm all for that. That's like I said, it was cool. But what they've done here is, like I said, this is where we're talking about the. Don't know whether it was intentional or not, but the slightly deeper undertone to the surface level story is this is people have thought they've got it all sewn up. They don't have to try anymore, and that not so much the girls, but their trainer. No, this is all down to mentorship and training people properly, and helping people to grow. And if you stunt somebody's growth emotionally and personally, it's going to
Yeah.
lead to problems. And in this case, it
Hide,
did.
hide who you are. Don't tell anybody who you are,
Mhm.
especially not your closest friends.
Who
Like
you're
the people you're
supposed to-
saving the world with don't need to know your secrets.
But you need, if you're in a war with soldiers, you need to be able to trust the person to your left and right. You have to.
Yeah.
There has to be an ultimate trust. That's the whole point of soldiering. So when you don't have that trust, things break down very, very quickly.
I mean, that's just it. The moment something turns up to break that trust, they just shatter.
Yeah.
But that's farther into the movie.
But this is almost laying the groundwork for it. For example, like the plane scene was hilarious.
The
Like,
plane seemed fantastic.
they didn't notice that they were getting flown away from the stadium. They're just that. Once
Well,
again,
no, they were too
that
busy
bullheaded
in their
to-
face.
does sushi have a lot of carbohydrates?
Yeah, because like sushi is rice.
I thought rice was protein.
No, rice is carbs. Back in the oldie days of samurai and things like that, the people of Japan were very, very sickly because in order to show how refined and how posh they were, the only thing they would eat was white rice, which has no nutritional value whatsoever. It just fills you up.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's like rice. Rice is just like
You
shed
have to
loads.
treat rice like meat. You know, you have to be careful with rice if you don't cook it right or keep it at the right temperature, because it does have a.
Well, yeah, because it's not ricin. Ricin is something totally different.
Ricin is poison.
It is ricin is something to do with. No, never mind. But yeah, there is a bacteria that is present in rice, and if you take rice out of like the microwave or whatever, and you leave it sitting on one side and let it cool down really slowly, there's a chance that you'll actually poison the rice and it'll make you very ill. So the idea is like when you've got leftover rice, you cool it down as quickly as you can.
Oh, so it's complex carbohydrates. So it's not like having a portion of chips.
No, there is literally this is why people say like when you're on diets you can eat rice. There is no nutritional value in rice apart from the fact that it makes you feel full.
That's fair enough.
We're moving on to diet tips now. Oh my god.
Well, there's a whole scene. They're sitting there, right? We have to have our pre-show carb loadout, and that's once again I didn't look it up before the show because I was busy. But yeah, that's it. They're eating the sushi, and then they're about to have their ramen cups, their pot noodles.
Yeah, the ramen cup, the most important part of the pre-ritual, and the phone rings.
Yep. Where are you?
Hey girls, where are you?
I love the way he's doing a voice call with them in the audience, and the audience is like seeing the fact that Bobby's got a voice call. They're like, "We love you!"
Start screaming at them. Oh my god, we love you too! It's the way that it's like a bunch of young teenage girls. Ah, we love you! Oh my god, we love you too! Bunch of like fully adult men in tears. Goes back to the girls. They're in tears as well.
Yeah.
Talk about playing to the audience. Wow. But yeah, it's like, so where are you going? It's like they look out the window and like they can see the venue getting farther and farther away, and they just turn around and give the crew the evil grin. Oh, the evil glare.
But that fight scene was just, it's sort of set up what the movie's going to be. Just the whole fight scene of, yeah, it's going to be serious, but also there's going to be a lot of comedic elements and a lot of tongue-in-cheek aspects to it.
Slapstick. I was expecting after the fight scene. I was expecting way more slapstick.
And I love the fact they can slice the plane in half and do this and that, and the people below don't have to worry about a crashing plane.
I know. I mean, I know, right?
Like that, if it was what do you call him, Zack Snyder directing this, there'd have been hundreds dead. You know what I mean, with the
Oh God,
fuselage and all.
you'd have had the K-pop Demon Hunters like bedraggled, all their clothing torn, blooded, staggering out the wreckage, carrying bodies with them.
But these girls don't even need parachutes. That was so
And I love the way the fans just accept it. They
Yeah,
just
like,
say, yeah, fair enough, okay.
this is just coming in overhead. I just landed on the stage and the demons blowing up, and you know they're just accepting it as all part of the stage show.
Like, woo, what a landing! Woo! It's yeah, it's very anime, isn't it?
Yeah. It's almost like a nudge. It's a nudge and a wink to anime and anime's fandom, and a nudge and a wink to Idol and Idol's fandom.
Yeah.
But also there's like a serious undertone of a story to it as well. It's I don't think it could have made it better, like honestly. And also to get younger people into anime and into horror, you know, because there is a horror element to this. It's
there somewhere.
low key, yeah, it's low key. But still, to get young people into storytelling and that there and good storytelling and understand that there's more to learn about and it's not just shiny lights.
Yeah, it's a great little doorway. It's a great little doorway for like younger people to step through, because it's like, right, let's go on to one of the common misconceptions of horror. Horror does not have to be blood, gore, and slasher flicks.
Of course not.
Hansel and Gretel is horror. Snow White is horror. It's like so many like children's fairy tales are based around like morals and doing the right thing and doing the right thing to prevent something terrible from happening.
Yep. If you want to check out the channel, folks, we did a whole live stream, morality and horror. Had a whole panel on, and we talked about, you know, right from the beginning, the earliest horror stories and how that moral message is part of it. You know, it's don't do the silly thing. Yeah, we talked about fairy tales as well. You know, some because that's how we got into it as children, was through fairy tales.
That's just, I mean, the earliest tales. I mean, the tales that people told each other around the campfire are there. Right, it's basically like stay within the light of the campfire, because there's bad things out there that want to hurt you.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You know, it's a powerful mechanism, and as the world's changed, the threats have changed. So that's why we have new horror stories all the time. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
that's
because now, instead of the shadows just outside the light of the campfire, it's the shadows in a dark alleyway, or the shadows in some old rundown building, or in some like old oil refinery or something like that. It's like the stories are the same, the fears are the same. It's just the method of putting it across that's changed.
Yep. And this one actually focuses heavily on social media, because there's young people out there destroying themselves over likes and shares and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's their whole identity, their whole life. And if they're hot 1 minute on Instagram and then it falls off the cliff, or their TikTok video doesn't land, their whole self-worth and value is invested in that, and they don't know how to cope. And we'll see it play out in this story. They go from being number 1 to number 6, and that's it. They're broken. They don't know how to recover from it.
I like the fact that slight spoilers, is like when they drop from fame, the way that the first thing they do in a way to react is basically to create a hate song about their rivals.
Yeah, a diss track, you know, that's why I don't like rap, because that's all rappers do is bitch about other rappers.
Right. I
Bunch
don't
of
know why.
wankers.
But
That's all this better than you.
when they invented rap, they missed the C off the front of it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Right. I like there's, I can't remember the name of it. There's kind of like a rap stage performance where you get two people on stage and they just basically
rap battles.
Rap battles. That I can appreciate because that is clever. That is people using their brains to come up with replies to something that is being said to them live. Whereas it's like most rap songs are just kind of like it's like I had an argument with my Fitbit, so I put it on the floor and put my foot on it. You know, that it's nah. I think rap was good. I like a lot of musical genres. I think rap was good when it first came out. It just hasn't aged very well.
No, that was the thing of its time.
It used to be about stuff. Now it's mostly about anger.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the whole diss track thing. Is this artist didn't do this with me? Wah. Then other artist goes, well, they didn't do this with me. Wah. And it just happens to be played out musically, and I'm just like, fuck that. No interest. Lowest hanging fruit, isn't it? That's where they devolve to, the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, pretty. I think it always does though, because it's like no genre of anything, no matter be it art, be it literature, be it movies, be it music, nothing can stay fresh forever.
No, that's
which is why new genres pop up.
And even what we're doing here, this won't be forever. You know what I mean? This is people like this at the moment, but at some stage.
Have you seen how many more we've got to get through, and how many more are going to be added to the list? We're going to be here to the day.
No, I'm just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about like the whole.
Yeah. Oh yes, there with that. I mean, there are alternatives to YouTube out there now, but they're not as popular and not as well known and well advertised as YouTube. If YouTube pulls like some stupid move or something like that, it could destroy YouTube and everybody will move over to the new platform.
No. The point I was making about the podcast format. So this is in direct
YouTube.
To the main the legacy media studio format, where you needed the big polished studio. You brought the guests in. It was 20 minutes, say nothing, sound bites, blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
This format that we do is antithesis of that, and people have gravitated towards this because guess what? The legacy media, the old format of the talk show, is out the window. It's fallen out of favor. It's become old hat. Eventually, what we do here will become old hat, and something new will come along. The difference is, I think, is I understand that, and when it becomes the new thing, I'll either embrace it or I won't. You know what I mean? That might be the time to go, right, okay, this has had a good run, blah, blah, blah. We're nowhere near there yet. You know what I mean? This is still growing and people are enjoying it. But I'm saying eventually, you know, like all things have a cycle. The podcast format, the long form discussion format will eventually fall out of fashion. People will go back to or go to something new. You know what I mean? Something new will come up and they'll be the insurgents, they'll be the new thing, and we'll become the legacy. And that's the natural course of things. You know, and I'm fine with it, you know. But what this is exploring is people who haven't been grounded, like these three girls, haven't been taught to deal with things. They've just been taught a mantra. Because up until this point, they've had no real opposition in their field. They have went completely unopposed. This is the cycle of, you know,
that's a
good times create strong men create good times create weak men create bad times create strong men. You know that cycle?
Yeah.
That's actually following this. That's following this cycle.
Yeah. I was going to say they've been Johnny's created. They've basically been bred for success, haven't they?
Mhm.
Because they are the K-pop Demon Hunters, and they're following on the foundation of every other K-pop Demon Hunter that's been out there.
Which has never been challenged because they haven't had a chance to, you know what I mean? They've never been opposed. This is where they dominate. And Rocky 3 is a good example, actually.
Yes.
If you think about the beginning of Rocky 3 and how Stallone was just on, you know, Rocky was on top of his game and he was more interested in the cameras and stuff, and he wasn't taking it seriously until Clubber Lang came along. This is what's happening here.
Good analogy.
But we see, obviously, we get a flash in the demon world, and this is where we meet Guima, the main antagonist.
Got to be honest, I did like him as an antagonist.
In a very, I'm trying to think, he's almost like a coup out of Samurai Jack or something, wasn't he? He had that sort of vibe about him. Or Mumra, you know, I'm thinking he's sort of that sinister, you know.
He like the guy who voiced him, the guy who voices him. I'm pretty sure is the same guy who voices the character in Warframe. Because there aren't two people who sound like that. So it's kind of like, oh, I know that voice. Big omnipotent bad guy who doesn't really have much to do with what's going on. Like he kind of like controls from the background.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. Yep, this is where we meet Jinnu. Jinnu appears, you know. I can't help liking him to like a bard out of D&D. Just he's got the, you know, whatever the form of a lute strung over his back.
Yeah. I did like the bit where he's there trying to he's saying like how they're going to beat the K-pop Demon Hunters, and it's like do you know what's it damn it, it's like the demon lord turns around, he's like, I let you keep that voice. That made me perk my ears up. I'm like, oh, what's this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely something more there, and yeah, this is where he offers a solution, and this is when we get the idea of, right, they're going to tackle him in their own arena, and this is the challenge.
I've got to admit, I did laugh as soon as like the demon boy band turned up.
Yeah,
because it's kind of
so
like I know exactly where this is going, and it went exactly where I thought it would.
Mm-hmm. And then you see them using their own tactics against them.
Yeah, which is awesome. Because it's kind of like it's like Huntrix is so sure of where they are that the moment like some kind of like viable opponent turns up, they just kind of fall to pieces.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is the change between the legacy media and social media, which is a major thing right now. It's a major shift in the cultural zeitgeist. The studios hate us. We won't give when we review a movie or anything, we give an honest opinion.
Oh, because that's it. Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, but don't forget, before the podcast, that was not a thing. You only reviewed if you're a part of a magazine, part of a TV show, part of, you know, God, what was that shitty show that brought back?
Don't ask me.
The gaming one, the whole Frost thing, something TV. Oh, for fuck's sake, I forgot that.
Trigger Happy? I have no idea.
No, it was a TV, something in the 90s that talked about computer games and stuff, and then they tried to bring it back, and it failed. When one of the hosts called all the fan base misogynist, but then she let it slip that the host didn't actually play the games. They read out reviews that somebody else had played. So once that
Wow.
something TV, help me out, chat.
I have no idea.
I have to look this up now.
Quick, Google it.
G4 TV. G4 TV. So this is what's happening here.
Never heard of
it's
it.
called G4. Right, it's an American thing. Anyway, so
Oh, that's probably why then.
Yeah, so it was a big thing in America, and anyway, it's equivalent to some like Saturday morning TV or something. Like you didn't get to talk about anything unless you were part of the establishment. Right, that's the point I'm making. So G4 TV was part of the establishment. It was on the airwaves. It told people what to think about games and what games to buy, etc., and other some pop culture stuff. Then social media come on. So G4 TV then tried to join the YouTube space with the old school format, not understanding that the whole landscape, the whole dynamics, the whole audience has changed.
Yeah,
They tried to do the same thing. The minute she openly admitted that they don't play the games they were reviewing. That'd be like me saying, we're going to do a movie review and not watch the movie. You mean you wouldn't do it? That's bad. That's mental. Do you know what I mean? It would not even enter your head to do that. But that was the old school. They got away with that because they were never challenged. So when she did that rant, when she let that go, that was the end of the channel. Fucking done. Like it was almost overnight. Just
you don't say. Jesus.
Gone like the wind. Like that's the same. People barely even remember it. Now it was such a fart in the wind. That's how quickly the audience just went, nah, fuck you, I'm gone. And that's it. The whole thing shut down within like 2 weeks or something. Like there's no recovering from it. This is what's happening here. So because they've gone with the old style, right? They're Huntrix, they've been set in place, they go on, then Soulja Boys arrive, and they're using social media. They don't need the establishment, they don't need the venues booked, they just turn up. That's it. Game changes. They don't know how to react because they've never been trained for this. There's a saying as well. Sorry, I'm very philosophical today. In the face of adversity, you do not rise to your expectations, but you fall to the level of your training.
I like that one.
So if you
I'm having that one. I'm writing that one down.
If you don't have the grounding, and in the case of Huntrix, they don't. They just read the mantra, nothing deeper, not how to deal with this, that, and the other, because that was it. They were just, you're chosen, you're put in place, you will succeed. We've never failed yet. And also showing arrogance that the enemy wouldn't change their tactics and wouldn't learn. Like it's almost disregarding the enemy. That it would never, never learn from defeat. And that's the biggest teacher in the world, isn't it?
It is indeed.
You're defeated, you fail at something, you learn 100 times more than just having success. Once again, back to the whole celebrity thing. People who have been placed in the system and they've only known success the early years of their life, then all of a sudden hit the wall, they get to a certain age, a movie doesn't go right or a song doesn't land, blah, 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 and they face failure and they've never dealt with it before, and you just watch them fall apart. And that's down to mentorship, and a lot of this is Mira's fault, their mentor, because Mira's never been challenged. She's not a teacher. She's just followed the mantra.
I think because she's one of the former group, isn't she?
Yeah, so I think one of them takes like the manager. I mean, she's like the band manager, but she's also like in the religion. She's the master.
Yeah. So she's just teaching the girls to follow on the success that she had.
Yeah, just following them. Yeah, not learning, just following on the mantra. No insight.
Because there's no need to learn anything new because the demons can't make it. The demons can't really make it through the hormone, so there isn't really anything to challenge them.
No, but this time they still get through, and because that shaky foundations are, which they have not noticed the cracks. Like any relationship, friendship, team, whatever, if there are underlying issues and they're not addressed. So, for example, these three girls all have their personality issues. Rumi has her secret that she's half demon, and they never address it. It's just been pasted over. Just
it's like
never
reveal this to your friends. Never, even your closest people. Never really reveal this. You mustn't reveal this.
Don't show weakness. Don't show vulnerability.
Your shameful secret.
Yep.
Which is going back to, it's kind of like shameful secret. It's kind of going back to social media again, isn't it? Because it's like I've yet to meet anyone who hasn't got some kind of secret, and the moment that secret gets shared, that's it.
Yeah, and it could be something that completely innocuous. Oh, you did this when you were 5. All of a sudden, it's all around. You know what I mean? You don't live life and engage in the world and not have shit go wrong or do silly things or say silly things. We've all done it.
Isn't that how? Like, aren't mistakes the way people learn?
Yes, you learn through failure and making mistakes, and that's how you end up growing as an individual. If everything's just laid out, like these girls, like everything's laid out, no opposition.
Yeah.
They having to feel some proper challenge.
Everyone in the world's got a few skeletons in their cupboards. They've got to have, because that's just the way life is.
Yeah.
Silence while we think about that. But yeah, it's just kind of like it's. So it's kind of like they're missing out on the strength they have of like sharing these problems and learning to cope with them together.
But that's the whole story arc.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, and it's like the band Huntrix is strong, but they're strong like a sword, like a sword blade, which is a perfectly good weapon. But if you smack it from the side, you will snap it in half.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to happen later on. Oh, a little shatter.
Yeah, Soldier Boys are the advantage of being attractive boys. Yeah, well, that was it. You know, this is the fickle audience. That's the shiny thing. What else did you put there?
Hey, look at us. Look at us. We're new and sparkly.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong one. Where the there it is. Right. Stupid chats scrolling up and down the screens like stop. Soldier Boys are new too. People always gravitate to watch it. Yeah, it's a whole new shiny, isn't it? It's the fickle audience, and that's the thing. If you're if that's all you're interested in, the surface level, just being fickle and chasing trends. Like, I'll use this channel as an example. It would be so easy to trend chase. A lot of the bigger horror channels do is it Freddy versus Jason? Is it Pinhead versus Billy? You know, blah blah blah, and they do all the polls and stuff. And that's just surface level. You know, the same conversation been had 100 million times. It'll be had 100 million times more. And it's the clickbait stuff, and there's no substance or anything to it. But if you just want the fickle masses who are doom scrolling, you know, that's how you get engagement from them. And if that's all you're chasing, then that's what you do. But if you're here to actually, like, we like having these conversations and everyone is on board, we enjoy having them. That's why we're here. If you happen to enjoy them too, you're more than welcome. But we are not for 1 second expected to be the next hottest thing or have that fleeting moment of, you know, oh, we are viral. You know, that's not what it's about. Our follower base, our supporters have been growing like every week, just more and more people come on board. So people understand, appreciate what we do. But
yeah, so
I don't see I'm not expecting to be the cool crowd ever, because that's not what this is about, or chasing whatever trend, because you wouldn't actually be you'd just be, okay, what's popular now? Look at the hashtags and those, and you just be constantly chasing that, and you'd never actually say anything. You're just like Huntrix. They're rhyming off the mantra, and then someone else does the same thing but does it a bit better, and they take over, and then you've put your whole personality into that. Then you don't know why you failed, and then you fall apart. You can see it play out, and I see it on YouTube a lot with creators that crash and burn and do all that sort of stuff, and it's never longevity. Do you know what I mean? It always comes chickens always come
Yeah.
home, so to speak.
It's almost like people start doing something like this, and then they just forget what they're doing.
Mhm.
And it does. It becomes less about like sitting here talking about something like this, and all about chasing the numbers.
Yeah, and that's,
And I agree with you. The moment the numbers are more important than the content, that's it. You failed. I mean, what we sit down to talk about something like this. We tangent all over the place. So we really stick on the same subject all the way through something, but we always come back to it. But we're having fun doing it.
yeah, and that's not gonna fit into a 10-minute soundbite that can be made viral, because that's just not that's not the thing we're doing here. But that's what I mean. But the podcast been around for good its 6th year now. Be around for, all things going well, be around for another 6, after that. That's the plan, and to learn and to change and to, bring new elements into it as we move along, but only if it works. If it doesn't work, I've tried loads of things in this channel and abandoned them. Like, I've tried it once or twice and it just doesn't fit. You've probably seen that with all the little short videos and stuff I've done in the past.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
experimenting. Doesn't work,
But
doesn't fit with the theme, doesn't fit with the philosophy of the channel. So there's no point doing it.
yeah, but there are people out there who don't. It's like this is the way we're going to do things. We're not prepared to change. This is our format. This is what's going to make it. No, actually, it doesn't work. You're left with nothing and nothing, nowhere and no one.
I couldn't
I mean,
help
it's like when you started this 6 years ago, did you think you'd be spending Sunday evenings talking about anime?
No, I had no plan. It was just going to be the narrated fiction, and Cameron and I chat once a month. I had no plans for it or not. Didn't really, you know what I mean? It took a while for the thing to get formulated, and it's still, you know what I mean? I'm still formulating, I'm still thinking, like, what can I do next? That's it, doesn't sit static. You've seen that, I'm sure, even with the last year and stuff, things have changed slightly. It always does.
Yeah,
New people come on board, we expand the content. That's I still want to get like a more free flowing stream once a week, but I just haven't got my head around the format of it yet. No, just come up, stream a Friday or Saturday night and just do news articles, do things, talk about a movie, maybe stuff coming out, just general. But
yeah.
I haven't got the format in my head yet, how to do it. So that's another thing on the horizon. Once I get my head around what I'm doing. I wanted to ask Flay about the significance of the cat. Is that a creature that's revered in Korean culture? These are things to think about after watching this movie more than 50 times. I couldn't help thinking about the Cheshire Cat out of Alice in Wonderland.
Right, the cat is another one of my favorite characters, but I like the bird with the hat even more.
Yeah, and the
I
fact that
don't understand that. I don't understand why the bird is wearing a hat, but watching that cat with that plank pot, it is the most cat I have ever seen.
yes, I was thinking Cringeor as well, out of Masters Universe.
Oh
I was waiting for Rumi to be like, I
oh.
have the power. And then he turns into like some form of battle cat, but didn't happen. I like the fact as well, Rumi made the hat for the cat initially, and the bird stole it.
It's that.
But even the animation for the bird and that was very Samurai Jack. That was very Gendy Tartakovsky. It got that sort of influence as well, which is, I don't know, it just made me chuckle a bit.
Oh, there's someone here calling the tiger derpy.
What? No? What are you saying that?
A site called Salon. I do not know them. KPop Demon Hunters.
yeah.
Did you see Derpy Tiger origin story?
Well, I didn't give it an origin story. It was just interesting, the fact that Rumi, you know, he has his sidekick and that, and it just added to it. You know, you could just
It was. I
see the franchise moving on.
You've got to love the way it's a messenger that delivers its message the same way it delivers hairballs.
Yeah.
Black. Picks the letter up, dripping from the side of it. But I can only, I've been doing a bit of like scrolling. I can only find one kind of like cat demon in Korean folklore, and I cannot pronounce its name for the life of me.
Like I said, I think
Guangmi, which is apparently
what? Oh.
Okay. Apparently it curses shoes.
That's an interesting one.
So if you leave your shoes outside overnight, it will come and it will curse your shoes, which will lead to a series of misfortunes, including financial loss, illness, or even death.
There you go. That's really important.
So always take your shoes inside at night.
Now,
or if you can't do that, hang them on a hook or stuff them full of garlic.
Now, is that because you're leaving shoes out overnight and they get mildewed and stuff?
I don't know. I know the foggiest idea.
What's good? Horror stories always come from a real world practical application. You generally don't leave your shoes; they'll be moldy as hell. You clean your shoes and that, and boots, and
yeah, it's like the children who went running into the forest and never came back. So you tell the children there's something in that forest, even though they could have been like, I don't know, taken by a bear or something.
Yeah, or just fallen
off a cliff, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Drowned in a river. It's like there's something out there and it takes children. So children, don't leave the light of the campfire at night. Don't walk down that dark alley. Don't go into that abandoned building. I tell you, horror is the same. The stories are the same as they've always been. It's just the locations where it takes place that's changed.
I think. This is gonna be another R in shoes, but like because I grew up and I was doing like Duke of Embers Award and stuff. Looking after boots was always a thing. I was taught from like 11 or 12 years of age. You know what I mean? Because you got an expensive pair of hiking boots. You made sure you got the dubbing on them, you cleaned them, and that because if you didn't,
always good. Always. I used to spend, when I was a kid, I used to spend hours and hours and hours, because I live in the middle of the country, running around the villages, climbing up trees, running around the fields, climbing up trees, falling out of them, narrowly escaping being turned into grain by a combine harvest. You know, the stuff that kids in the stuff that kids in the 70s regularly did in the English countryside. But yeah, it's like whenever you come in, get your shoes, scrape or bang the mud off them, put them next to the fire is in to dry them out, make sure they're clean.
Yeah, that was it. And even getting on later, it was like things like newspaper. You got old newspaper, you shoved them inside and stuff, and then
yeah,
you didn't,
especially in winter.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if maybe that's part of the thing of bringing them inside, and there's more. You know, I mean, I'm just fascinated the fact that's so specific.
A lot of them are. Anything like that, like anything that happens like that, it's always cats. But is that the fact that because if a cat is out at night and it sees something that wasn't there the last time it came around, it will come along and investigate it
And leave a mark.
the cat will come sniffing around. So it's like if somebody sees a cat like sniffing around a pair of shoes, and the next person, the next day, the person wearing those shoes like accidentally, like, I don't know, steps in front of a horse and carriage or a car, or slips and breaks something. Is it because the cat was a demon and it cursed the shoes?
Who knows? That's
That's
you know, that's how it kind of works, isn't it? Yep. We'll never know, but that's the beauty of folklore. We don't know the exact origins, but there's been a reason, and then somebody's made into a story, then it's become part of the oral tradition. It's been passed down, and here we are today, 400 years later, on a podcast thinking about it.
I love stuff like this. I like reading like proper folklore horror stories, and then just kind of like just dissect them a little bit.
That's the thing as well. This is showing, it's aimed for the Western audience, but it's still showing Korean culture, which I don't understand fully. And it's nice to get, okay, where's that from? What's this from? What's, even the idea of Huntrix, is that from something? I think that's maybe taken from a bit of folklore. We just don't fully know. And maybe there are fan sites, or, it'll explain later on if there's going to be another. I imagine there's going to be another movie, because this absolutely blew up, didn't it?
It was massive.
Yeah, this really took off, and I don't think
absolutely massive.
Once again, this could have just been forgettable, but it just hit it just hit the zeitgeist. It hit the right note, and I think because
it came
it's relevant,
out precisely the right time it needed to.
And I think because it's touching, and like, we understand social media because we're fully on board with it. Kids definitely understand social media. They've known nothing else. It touches on those things.
Social media way more than I do.
Yeah, but I mean, not just as a surface level. Yeah, they know deep down the dangers of it. They know there's something wrong. It's a horror story, isn't it? Don't put, this is the horror story of this. Don't put your whole personality in social media, because you'll destroy yourself. That's the horror story. And also, don't blindly follow.
When I started watching this, I'm kind of like, where it's like, that's funny, that's cute, that's silly, that's funny as well. Exactly where is the horror in this?
But the horror
comes late. The horror, like I say, the horror comes later in the story when things start going wrong. And you've got to be honest, it's quite subtle.
I like the fact Jinnu appearing and going, I'm going to use their own tactics against them. We've tried everything else. We'll fail and we'll fail and we'll fail. And Guima's like, okay. And the level of success was frightening. And it shows as well, if you are fickle, you can follow someone who means you well, and just as easy follow someone who means you harm. And God, how many times you see that with influencers? What was that one? Hok Twa girl. Do you remember her?
Is she the one who said some really stupid things about her fans, or am I thinking of someone else?
No, she was just getting randomly interviewed in the street, and she made a joke. Oh, you got to spit in that thing, Hok Twa, right? And then she became a meme, and then she just became an internet sensation, right?
Yeah.
She then got involved with like a cryptocurrency scam and rinsed her fads. I mean, this is once again, this is being touched on with this movie, that people are putting their entire souls and being in the shiny lights on stage, right, or on the screen, and treating them as omnipotent gods and not having any thoughts of their own. So this girl, she went and she told people to invest in this, and people didn't just chuck a tenner in. They put their entire life savings because they believed in her. She thought she was wholesome, blah, 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 blah. They built this whole persona around her. And then it turned out to be a scam, and people lost their money.
Wow.
That's a real danger of social media. That's a real horror story, that you can lose everything. You can blindly follow someone. You can just take every word they say as the gospel truth, and as if it's a anointment from a god, commanding your life. To the point where you will ruin yourself. Sorry again?
My Oshi said, like Like a person's Oshi is kind of like a hero. It's a word that they use with like VTubers and stuff like that.
Carry on with that thought, and I'll be back in 1 wee second.
Oh no!
Yes, go ahead.
Once more into the beach, dear friend. I don't know where to go now because I was just making a comment. Hello everyone, I am Flay. I have no idea what I'm saying. But yeah, it's kind of like in popular culture at the moment, there's a term that people use, Oshi. And it's kind of a bit the Oshi. It's basically like out of all the people you follow on social media and things like that, your Oshi is your favorite. So it's kind of like if your Oshi turns around and tells you, "Oh my God, drop a few £1,000s into this pyramid scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme, honest." You'll be like, "Oh, I must do it because my Oshi has told me to." And then when everything goes wrong, you will do everything you can to try and find some reason why it's not their fault because they're your Oshi. Social media is scary. But yeah, there is a massive slice of that in K-pop Demon Hunters. Because it's like Huntrix do things the old-fashioned way. Whereas Soldier Boys are way, way more up with social media, which just goes to prove that social media is an invention of the devil. No idea where I'm going with this.
What,
Colin,
go?
hurry up. Oh, I got for that.
So you're talking about hero worship, basically?
Basically, yeah.
Yep. And you can be inspired by people, but once again, that's the danger, isn't it? And you go into full on hero
once
worship.
again, you can, as you said not long ago, you can be inspired by people, but are the people you're being inspired by the right people, and do they have your best interests at heart?
Yeah, Chris, we did talk about that at the start, but we were also talking about how where this plan failed was there was no actual depth to the training. They were basically just following the same pattern, and because they went completely unopposed, the whole movement was safe. But Jinu appears with a plan, and they basically the arrogance and complacency of the hunters was that they did not believe that their enemy could learn or grow or evolve themselves or change their tactics. And that's the whole point of this movie, is just showing that arrogance. Greek mythology does it all the time. You know, that's another aspect of just underestimating your opponent. And underestimating your opponent is your downfall. We used Rocky 3 as an example of underestimating your opponent and becoming complacent. You know, that's it. You know, and once again, the hero's journey. The hero has to fall. They have to fail against their adversary, because by failing, that's how you then reevaluate and learn and grow, and then go on to victory. You know, it's classic storytelling, and I think that's. Sorry.
I think complacency is in there as well, because they've succeeded so long. They've succeeded for so long. The way they're kind of like the protecting the world doesn't need to evolve. They don't have to. They don't have to make compromises. They don't have to make plans for when something goes wrong, because nothing has ever gone wrong and nothing will ever go wrong.
Yeah, the plane scene at the beginning perfectly highlights that.
They just beat the demons up, rip the plane in half, and like
start the show.
Parachute, kind of, but without the parachute into the it's like you can't, we can just like, your demons can't beat us. Your demons will never beat us. You're never going to be strong enough to beat us. Play the pop music, beat the demons up.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's where that comes in. Jinu changes the game completely. And also we're now, this is where the cracks are starting to show, because Rumi's starting to lose her voice. And that's because she hasn't dealt with her issues. And we start to say, God, I forgot the other two's names. Zoey and Celine. Zoe's the edgelord, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
And Celine's the
Zoe,
one.
like Zoe,
Zoe's the pleaser.
Zoe's the one with all the books.
All right, and Celine's
Zoe's the one with like the buns.
Right.
I think.
So that's
I think.
But the other two, basically, they have their own issues. They're not resolved. And then once they hit adversity and they see failure, they all fall apart and it all comes out because it's never properly addressed. They aren't fully formed human beings. They're just made to go along with it. And I think that's a reason why this is landed, because how many animations, how many kid stuff's been put out there and just absolutely failed. Because even at young ages, kids want proper storytelling. They want to be gripped. They want to go along with the story. And all they're getting fed is absolute shite.
Yeah. I think one of the problems these days is that children are way more grown up than the entertainment industry is giving them credit for.
No, but we got adult stories. If you think about the stories we grew up with, they were always geared towards a higher level, and it was up to you. There was enough there, but it was up to you to catch up. You know, I mean, you got the surface level, and then as you got older, you appreciated the deeper meaning. But then somewhere along the line, over the last 20 years, that completely stopped.
Mm.
And the fact that this is landed so well shows the strength. It's not the flashy lights, it's not the animation, it's not even the characters, it's the storytelling has landed. You know, this is something that I think kids mightn't be able to articulate it, but I think they know there's something more here. And I think that's why it's landed with them. And I can see it because you've got enough in the surface level for entertainment, but there's something deeper there scratching under the surface that they'll talk to each other in their own way. You know what I mean? Not like us sitting like this.
Yeah, because the story is based on because a lot of the story is based around like the perils of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Children are gonna understand this,
but it's also
because it's like most children of the age of like the demographic that this kind of like the age demographic that this movie is based on. They're going to be neck deep in social media anyway. I mean, look what the government's saying about like banning children from using social media,
which isn't going to work.
It's totally not going to work.
If the government's going to do something, it's the wrong thing. No governments are fucking stupid. They're full of idiots. It has to be. This movie will do more to warn people about responsible use of social media than any fucking government directive of any country, because they're all the same dickheads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and instead of like some bloke in a suit turning around and saying, "Don't do it because it's not good for you, children," it does it in a way that's entertaining. It's got the flashy lights. It's got the songs.
Oh, you mean?
It's got the things that are
a horror story.
It's got the things that will make children pay attention. It's gonna keep your children invested long enough for the story to come across.
Yeah, but you mean like telling a traditional horror story?
Yeah, look into the fire, children, and watch the shadows in the flames as I tell you my story.
Has this changed? Do you know what I mean? Is this any different from Round the Campfire Story? Don't go into the woods. Something will, the hobgoblin will get you.
Oh no! It's like the only difference. The only difference between K-pop Demon Hunters and a story told around a campfire is maybe the graphics are a bit better. That's the only difference. I'm all for it.
Yeah, yeah. You don't chase, right? If you're a bunch of kids, you don't chase after hardened criminals and try and sneak in and do stuff. You're going to end up in a bad way. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They were the warnings of the 80s, towards Gen X, and then all of a sudden they stopped. They stopped traditional storytelling. They stopped telling horror stories, and horror.
Think about the public awareness videos that we used to have on television in like the 80s, where it's like
they were class.
You basically got like
don't play with pylons. Kid burnt a crisp on the ground.
Like a couple of people, a couple like adults, a man and a woman standing by the edge of a riverbank crying with like a bloke dressed up as death behind him. Don't let your kids play near the river. Charlie
Yeah,
says, if I get into this Land Rover with you, you're going to drive me away and do horrible things to me. So no, thank you. Charlie and the kid run off. It's I can't understand why they took public service alarms. It's just like basically like kids don't be stupid enough to get yourself killed climbing up an electricity pylon. That's basically what it said. But yeah, they're gone. They removed them.
because they were too upsetting. So everyone got wrapped in cotton wool, and then that's why people are doing more harm to themselves. But this is a perfect example of, you know, how you can be, you be careful who you follow, you be careful who you take advice from, you be careful who you champion. Make sure they have your best interests at heart. If they don't, now you can be both. That's why I don't believe selfishness is wrong. You can have selfish reasons, but still have other people's best interests at heart. It can serve your own self purposes. Self centeredness, I don't believe, you know, that's where things go wrong when you think you're the only person in the world that hasn't got anything. You can serve your own interests and serve other people's interests. So you make sure who you're following has your interests at heart or don't mean you harm. And like even today, in terms of, you know, scams and, you know, it's different, but there's horror stories of doxing and swatting and all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, there's people that do that.
Oh yeah.
There's still a physical element to following the wrong person or getting, you know, I mean, you can actually do harm to something. You can see people, like two YouTubers have a fight, and you can see the followers like going at each other and actually prepare to do each other harm. I mean, there's that whole, so you have to just be wary about when somebody's being hyperbolic, because we try to be, you know, I mean, at times I've done it as well. I'm hyperbolic, just trying to emphasize a point or be entertainment, or something comes along, you know, and I'll use that language, but I don't mean it, you know. And if you don't understand that and you take everything literally, then that's a you problem that you need to look at. And I think this movie's just saying that, you know, it's just showing. So everyone starts following the Soulja Boys, and yeah, they're the new shiny, and they play the game, and that everything Huntrix tries, because they haven't been dealt with how to battle in this arena. They've never had to fight this fight before. They're completely whitewashed. They're just every turn they're defeated. And it just shows as well that the people then flick over to the demons, who essentially just want to steal their souls. And they don't think about, all right, do the Soulja Boys, or Saja Boys, sorry, have my best interests at heart? No, it's just a shiny thing, and they follow them, and then at the end of the day, they nearly bring on the apocalypse. But we also have this interesting dynamic between Rumi and Jinnu, a relationship.
Face facts. It's a love story.
Yes, but it was beautifully done.
It was so well done. Also, first introduction of Blue Tiger Cat thing. Because my favorite bit in the entire film is when it knocks that plant pot over.
Yep, and it's just like, then she puts it up and it knocks it over again. Just, it's completely. But even their relationship, it doesn't go cheesy. It's like proper development of something, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get I thought those two were going to sing the end song.
Yeah, what
was it? Jesus Christ, Lilliput, and what was that animation that did it with the song Together Forever? Gulliver's Travels version.
Oh God!
Do you remember that one?
Dimly, very dimly.
Lilliput and Blefsky were at war, and then that version of Gulliver's Travels was the sung one half of a song, and that was their national song, and the other one was the other half. And then when Gulliver was actually more of a background character, just because it was the prince and the princess, they sang it together and brought everyone.
Should that have been brilliant? But that would like consider like humans and demons. That'd have been a bit too nice of an ending, wouldn't it? With humans and demons getting on and being friends.
If this had been the fluffy Disney shite, that's what it would have. You know, what I mean, it
That's
would have
what would
just
have
been on
happened.
knuckle.
Yes.
But I like the fact that that was, you know, what I mean, once again using the music. You know, what I mean, it kept with it. It didn't go off in one. They actually brought it together, and then you're sort of led down a path. But um, it worked. You know, what I mean, it was shown that the music was just a mechanism. It was just another tool of battle, and it can be used for either good or ill. And we've seen that, right? How many folk songs, tunes are used for tribal stuff to bring people to war? How many songs have been written, you know, against one side or the other, even use political songs, everything else? You know, music can be used to unite or divide. It's
Pretty
just,
much most of them.
yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just the same.
Yeah.
You can either bring people together or you can tear people apart. That's, you know, what I mean, at the end of the day, you can't blame music. It's how you use it. It's the same as a sword. You can keep it on the wall, or you can go around hacking people's heads off, or you can only
Yeah.
use it when you need to. It's that sort of thing. It's not the
Just
instrument.
just the tool.
It's you have to take accountability for your actions behind it. So you have this all playing out, and then obviously we find out that Remu has a demon father and a human mother.
I thought they'd have gone more into that.
Yeah, they kind of left it, but then again, this is. I think they needed to do that to highlight Mira. Mira
It's
is
it,
a
I,
failure as a teacher and a mentor,
Mm.
and it's Mira's failure, which maybe people haven't picked up on. I don't know, but a lot of
I,
this
ha-
is about Mira failing.
I was half expecting during like the final showdown to like the big demon guy to be like, no, Luke, I am your father.
That would have been a bit off.
I
I think that would have been a bit.
expected it, but I've got to be honest. While I was watching this, I was
You're expecting
expecting
Green to be Rumi's
I
father.
was expecting to go incredibly cheesy sooner or later.
That's what impressed me about this. It had every option to take a safe route, didn't it? This
But
movie
it
could have
didn't.
taken a safe option
It totally didn't.
and go down the expected route and lead us all down the path, but it did not do that. And I applaud it for not doing that. For actually, I think that's why it's blown up. This is something new and refreshing that, especially young ones who know nothing else apart from the shite that's been like 20 years of just pure shit shoveled down our throats in terms of entertainment. Something like this is going to stand out. This used to be the norm. You know what I mean? There's always crap, you know what I mean? There's always low rent stuff, there's always crap out there, but the standard of storytelling, this used to be normal. You didn't always expect, you weren't meant to expect the ending. That was part of the excitement of going along the journey. Was that you didn't know where the story was going to go exactly. You could guess and you could pick up hints as you went along, but there was enough to sort of keep you invested that you wanted to stay to the very end. Where you look at any movie, animated movie, or live action or whatever else, you can tell the plot basically within the first 5 minutes. Like, all right, it's going to do this. Yeah, you're out. I mean, no surprises, no character development, nothing.
Yeah,
for the most part. And so something like this come along, just like a breath of fresh air.
it's so sad. When did everything turn to mush?
Right about 2010.
We can't even blame
It's right
COVID.
about, no, that's
It was
no
about the time
this decline.
wasn't it?
No, that was only recent. The actual standard in storytelling has been from about 2010. If you look at the trends and stuff, it's around about that time. I don't know if there's an actual nexus point of one particular movie, because that's the thing as well. Stuff's put out in batches. You know, it's all greenlit by the same people at the same time with the same mindset. So it's never just one movie. But if you look at even music and everything else, like what's out now inspiring people music wise? It's all so generic and blends in with each other, you can't tell. Where's the hits people are singing to? They're not. That's all gone.
Oh, it's so depressing.
But this is where I think you need to go back to basics. I think you need to go back to clubs and bars and performances and actually handing out leaflets again.
Mm.
I think we're due for a renaissance. I genuinely do. This can't go on forever. Eventually, we're going to hit that period again. You know, it's going to hit rock bottom. It's getting there. All the big companies are falling apart and they're merging into each other, and they don't know how to cope with this, which is perfectly exemplified here. Huntrix do not know how to cope. Mira isn't any. Where's Mira to help them in their time of need? She disappears when things get hard and leaves them on their own. That's not a leader. That's not a teacher.
There's a scene.
You can guess
Right.
who my least like character in this is.
What did you Mira?
It would be Mira.
How did I know? There's a scene right at the end where towards the end, after everything's collapsed, where Mira and Rumi, main character, they meet, and she's trying to convince her about how she's got to like hide herself and stop being who she is and become like, you know, the good little Huntrix member that she always has been. And Rumi turns around and says, if this is the home moon that we're supposed to protect, I'm glad it's going to fall.
Yeah, that's perfect example of, you know, just blind faith in something because it is, just because it's there. You must say the words, you must go along with it. And not understanding why, forgetting your purpose.
Which leads to an even more awesome line during the final confrontation.
Go for it.
Where like the demon lord, whose name I can never remember, turns around and says, the Homun has been destroyed. And Rumi's like, yes, so we can make a new one.
And then the song, even the Shattered Mirror, you know, and looked into 1,000 parts and saw myself in all the different angles, like that song.
Yeah.
That they just basically sang on the cuff and came together. It was actually what I was expecting was Rumi and Gina to be singing their song and bringing them together. That was the expected route. But the fact is that they compose a new song on the spot and it's from the heart, and all three of them. That was clever. I've seen clever musical lyrics and fit with the story. Like this was, I'm impressed. I didn't expect to be as impressed as it was. That's all I'm saying.
It's a level of storytelling and the intelligent use of music that we're not used to anymore.
Yeah. Those of us who are older will remember this
because it's like everything has to be dumbed down to the lowest level so that everybody can understand it.
What I will say though, I hate auto-tune vocals. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem in the music industry these days because everyone can sing, because everyone can use auto-tune. Right. I sing a lot. I sing while I'm hoovering. I sing while I'm doing the dishes. I am as flat as a pancake. You do not want to hear me sing. I love singing, but it's not something I'd ever do in public. I think a lot of people shouldn't because auto-tune.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm terrible.
Let us look at the cautionary tale of Milli Vanilli.
I heard that name.
Milli Vanilli. Oh god, that's like back in like the it's back in the 80s. They were a couple of guys who sing. They were one of like the Stock Aitken Watermen.
Oh god, right, okay.
And they were like they totally. It's like we can say it's like we don't want to do this. We want to do that. And it's like, well, okay, we're Stock Aitken and Waterman. If you don't do this, we're going to pull out our support. We don't need your support. We can do this on our own because we're stars. They weren't. There were a couple of people who couldn't sing, who had like backing singers doing the tracks for them.
Mm-hmm.
They released one record on their own, and that was the end of Milli Vanilli.
Talking of Stock Aitken and Waterman, do you remember the Hitman and Her?
Oh God, I used to like the Hitman and Her.
Waterman and Michaela Strachan going to nightclubs. Like, how was that a TV show? That was mad. It was on like midnight and stuff. They just went these random nightclubs, and fucking Pete Waterman, he must have been like post 50 when he was doing that, or he just looked a lot older, and Michaela Strachan was like half his age, and they both co-presented this show, and they both just didn't fit. It was weird, and it was the whole club scene, and yeah, they set up all the cameras in the club and that there. It was just all posers and podium dancers. Yeah, remember they had the troupe of podium dancers went round with them.
Yes, yeah.
God,
It's
that
like,
was. Sorry, there's a blast from the past.
like top of the Pops did that right. Like you could apply to be part of the audience in Top of the Pops, yeah. But you had to supply them with a photograph, because if you were too ugly or you didn't fit, you weren't getting in.
That was just so Jimmy Savile could look over it and decide to put you within groping distance or not.
Just like
He had the final decision on that. Ugh.
should we go there? I said no.
That was dark. Yeah, but I know it's a horror podcast, but
the dark. It's a horror podcast, but there's some depths of horror that you really don't want to plumb. At least not while we're talking about KPop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, by the way, fuck you, Ian Huntley. Pick your head up, you cunt. Just got to get that one in there too. Shall we get into good news this week? Talk about fucking pure evil. Getting his comeuppance.
It's
still just brings a level of rage. You see the picture of them girls that did not deserve that in the fucking slightest.
Everyone gets what they deserve in the end.
God, this took a dark turn, didn't it?
I'm not quite sure where to go on from here.
Yeah,
well, we've got love. Because it's like from Jimmy Savile and Ian Huntley to love saves the day.
Yeah, well, some people can't be redeemed. It's back to Chris's question about Jenny's story arc. Yeah,
if they make a second of this, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if it was like Jinu's story,
like a prequel?
Yeah,
I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work.
It'd certainly be more horrific than this one.
But that's just his story, you know, and it actually exemplifies it, or sort of the whole idea that it's your guilt, your shame that makes you a demon and puts you in Guima's thrall. And as you've said, like, we've all got stuff we'd rather have not have done or regrets. That's life. You don't go through life everything going swimmingly perfect. Because if you don't have regrets, you don't have failures, how can you grow? Which is showed that this was Huntrix's failure. Yep, this is Huntrix's failure and their growth and moving forward.
Yeah. Because without making mistakes, how do you learn what's right?
So there's Jinu had a chance, you know, he made the deal for himself, but with that he abandoned his family. Was he not allowed to leave the palace though? Could he not have went down with a few bags of food? I don't get it. Anyway,
I have right. If he was a servant of like the Chinese emperor or the Japanese emperor, no, he wouldn't be. He'd only be allowed to leave the palace if he could get permission from the emperor himself. Don't know about Korea.
So that was it. He's just part of the household, and that was it. He never left.
Yeah.
But then again, that was the trick, wasn't it? Like the gin. This is like back to the gin, isn't it? Back to the genie in the bottle. Careful what you wish for.
Yes, because you just might get it.
Yep. So by doing that, he doomed his family. He saved himself, but he doomed his family. So there you go. I mean, he was tricked. What would that mean if he had said no or whatever? You know, I don't know the culture. Would that have been his death?
But was he tripped? Because in the big reveal, he says that he knew that he was doing. He like went to sleep while his family was
No,
out
he
there.
was. That was his shame. That was his shame that he went to sleep every night. But I mean, this is where you need to understand the culture references, which we don't hear of the Korean nobility. Did him join the palace as a basically the court, not so much the court jester, the court bard. Did that mean he stayed permanently in the palace and never went back out again?
I think he did. I think he did stay in the palace. I think
So
I think he deliberately didn't go back to see his family because they would remind him of the situation that they're in versus the situation that he's in. But because he didn't go leave the palace, because he didn't try to help them, that's where the shame, the guilt has come from that turned him into a demon.
This story's clever enough. That's what I mean. It wouldn't be because if he was getting paid, he just you know what I mean. If he's living life in the palace and he got a couple of gold coins, he would obviously go and give his
Yeah,
family.
there would be nothing. There would be nothing if it's the same as Chinese, Japanese culture. Yeah, the money that he earns being a servant of the court, there is nothing to stop him sending that back to his family.
That's the question I'm asking.
Except greed.
So yeah, if that was it, then he, you know what I mean. I'm trying to think here. If he wasn't, you know what I mean, if it was something like, I'm thinking like Egyptian pharaohs, like their courtesans did not leave the palace. I'm trying to think of a similar, you know what I mean, or something I can relate to. They were basically tied to the pharaoh forever. They never mixed again with the general public. They were taken from their families. That was it. So I'm wondering if it's similar in Korean culture because I know nothing about it.
No, me neither. Because it's kind of like there's all these
you know what I
like.
mean? So here's my thinking. Bear with me, right? He thought he had made a deal for him and his family, but he didn't word it properly. I.e., be careful what you wish for. Classic horror story, right?
Yeah.
By entering the palace.
I know this while being a role playing GM because one of my rules in all my role playing games is no takebacks.
Mm-hmm.
You say it, you do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then you play with it. You know, you deal with the consequences, and yeah, I'm all for that. But anyway, so let's go with the premise because I don't think it's like this story has been too well written to make such a mistake. Do you know what I'm saying?
We can't say enough how well written the story is. Can we?
No, that surprisingly, I was not expecting anything. I was expecting a bunch of trash. I was not expecting.
I was expecting the typical kind of slop that gets written these days for like 9 to 12-year-old girls. I was expecting something like one of the Barbie cartoons. I was I sat down I was talking to my brother. I only watched this afternoon. I said, do you know what? I've hung off this as long as I can. I'm not looking forward to this. And I really enjoyed it.
There you go. It just shows there are. Once again, this is about not closing your mind to stuff, isn't it? Oh, this is only for children. I'm not going to watch this. Oh, this is only this. I'm not going to watch it. Or this is this. I'm not going to watch it. You judge a thing on its merit, its individual merit. You don't go by preconceptions. Luna said earlier on the chat, about all the hype. Hype makes me off anything. If there's too much hype about something, I tend to stay away from it.
I agree with that. The amount of films I've never seen because of the hype behind them, and then I've watched them on DVD and been like, you know what? I really wish I'd seen this on the big screen.
But that's a trap you have to be careful about falling into. Once again, this is about blindly, everybody else likes this, so I'm not going to. It's so easy to do that, isn't it? Oh, everybody's enjoying this. I'm going to criticize it. That's a trap you could fall into as a reviewer. That's something you've always got to be mindful of. It's the trendy thing, the pan in this, whatever it is. I'll pad on it too to get the likes in the algorithm, or I'm going to be the edge lord. You know, you gotta always be wary of those little voices because you
Yeah.
I mean, we're all human. It does enter your mind, so that's why I'm saying you always have to make a conscious effort to evaluate yourself and why you're doing
Yeah.
stuff. You
And
have to be self-aware.
you see so many videos on YouTube where it's like people reviewing movies, and if you've seen the movie, you know for sure they've probably watched the trailer reel and read through maybe like a quick synopsis of the plot. They haven't actually seen the movie, but they're reviewing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, there's an absolute arsehole called Grace Randolph, and I don't know how she has the subscriber base she does. She's a fucking plank.
Pardon my very inappropriate question, but does she have big boobs?
No, she's actually ugly as fuck.
Hmm.
She sounds horrible. She's got one of those really horrible nasally voices as well. Like there's no reason. She's rats, and there's no reason why she has the following she does, and she's thick, and you can tell that she doesn't have any understanding of anything, and it's just like, what the fuck? How does this? No, once again, but then that's why, as a you look at that, and you go, I'm not going to be that. I'm not even going to try
Yeah.
to be that. Fucking
Yeah, that's just. I mean, I could have been like, do you know what? I really don't want to watch this. I'm just going to like read through the notes and try and bluff it. I've got too much respect. I've got too much respect for you and Horrorific to do that.
we had
So
somebody
I'm going to write then. This could be the worst thing I have watched this year.
But-
I owe it to Horrorific to watch it.
But then again, if it was bad, we'd say it was. Like we're not.
Yeah. I mean, if it was terrible, if it was like, don't waste your time with this. It's the worst movie ever. And I am so gobsmacked and surprised that it isn't. It's an awesome movie. It's a great movie. It does its job really well. Is it horror? I've got to be honest.
Yes.
For the level of horror that I normally watch, I wouldn't call this horror. But for like young children, is this horror?
So
yes, because they have more understanding of it than I do.
have you heard my? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, I'm 55 years old. I'm a Luddite. I don't understand the ins and outs of social media. So quite a bit of the social media part of this, like washed over my head. But it's like for the kids out there who are like savvy for this, the story will have a much deeper impact on them than it did on me.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's. I think that's why it's blown up. Shit. Yes. Have you heard my swimming pool analogy for horror?
I don't know. Remind me of it.
Right. So
Also,
I equate horror to a swimming pool. Okay, you've got like the baby pool, like the real paddling pool. That's your entry level, like horror stuff like this. You've got the shallow end. You can sort of splash about a bit. You go up. You've got your you got the middle, middle part of the pool where you can just sort of bob down and up, but you have to swim a bit. Then you've got the deep end, where that's it. You have to swim. I mean, it's too far down. You can't just bob up and down like a middle part. And then you've got the diving pools, and that's your martyrs. That's your extreme horror. You know what I mean? That's stuff that's properly disturbing and meant to rattle you to the core. And that's the way I equate. So it's all horror, but it's just different, just different degrees, different depths, and it's up to you. Some people might just be happy in the baby pool, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't slag off people who are diving off the diving boards. It's the same as people who are in the diving boards. Don't slag off people in the shallow end. They're enjoying themselves at their comfort zone. So be it. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy. I like that analogy. I'm nicking that one as well.
I came up with that one ages. I think I was like first year or two of the podcast.
It's kind of like it's.
I was just trying to explain that, what I mean, because one of the purpose of this channel is that maybe if you're not a horror fan or you're new to horror, you've got preconceived ideas and you want to explore the genre. I want to do that. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I always want to bring people into the genre, and I also want to get away the stereotypes and the baggage that comes with being a horror fan, you know. And if I can explain it to people how wide ranging the genre is and why it's still has such a longevity, and it's using all those examples. That's why I hold the panels as well. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't done one in ages. I need to once again. That's something. Just I have too much going on right now, and it won't be until April I even start thinking about getting back in that
Wow.
path again after these conventions are done.
It's the thing is, it's like the horror genre. The horror genre is so wide and so encompassing of everything that it's almost like it surpasses other genres, or it's kind of like it melds in with other genres. Is that a better way of putting it?
Yeah, it's a storytelling. It's a storytelling mechanism. Another example I use is the car chase scene in Bad Boys 2 versus the highway crash scene in Final Destination 2. One's not horror, one is. Bad Boys
I'm going to
2.
investigate those because I haven't seen either.
Well, the reason I remember Bad Boys 2 is because I watched it on a coach.
Mhm.
And the only reason it was enjoyable is because the coach is bobbing and weaving while that's playing on the screen. And that's the only reason I enjoyed it. Because you're
Wow.
actually
Yeah.
the coach is like one of these drivers that just didn't give a shit. He's weaving in and out up down the motorway. It was like God, we're going from Wales to flipping Mackerhenish, you know what I mean? It was like an 11-hour journey and they had that on during it and a load of other stuff. I think it was that one.
Wow.
I don't know. I spent too much time in coaches and stuff going to places and they stick movies on. But anyway, Bad Boys 2, there's a boat involved, crashes into people, there's explosions, there's stuff, there's blah, 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 all happening, the cars crashing and stuff. Not an ounce of blood, not one person wrecked.
Yeah.
That's not horror. Final Destination 2, everyone gets mangled. And of course, the logging truck. You know what I mean? That scene's iconic. And you see the blood splatter and everything. People getting their heads removed with motorbike chains and everything. You know what I mean? And it did not hold back. That's the difference between horror and non-horror. You can have two scenes the exact same. Horror goes there, it crosses that line, it doesn't hold back, it uses the impact of the violence. It actually shows you this is what happens if I think it's Bad Boy 2, the motorboat crashes into a car, like with a family in it, but nobody gets hurt. That doesn't
18 levels of violence.
Not even. I was trying to be more grown
Where
up.
the helicopter crashes in the bottom of the cliff, everyone climbs out, not a single hair, their perfectly manicured head is out of place.
Pretty much. So that's that's the difference between horror. It's just the the mechanism. This horror, like you see people literally losing their souls, like they're getting the life sucked out of them. The world is coming to an end. Like when the home moon changes, and even Rumi, the betrayal. Like Rumi goes to Mara, end me. Offers her sword, end me. That's not for kids. You know what I mean? That's pretty adult. And then her actually the extent of the betrayal, like that was dark.
It's another aspect of horror, though, isn't it? Because horror is prepared to go to the darker places than most stories are.
Yeah, and that's the ending scene. Like you see the actual dread, like even on the personal level, like that exchange between Rumi and Mira, where she's practically prepared to, just go to the dark side, so to speak, and usher in the apocalypse because of betrayal.
It's such a good scene.
Like that could have been done in any adult movie. I would have just been as impactful.
It's kind of like the story from the beginning to the end. The storytelling becomes more expansive.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the story gets deeper and more intelligent as it goes on. It's almost as if it's designed to suck you in with the flashy lights and songs at the beginning, but after it's sucked you in, it opens your eyes to the rest of the story.
But the flashy lights and songs at the minute was actually a representation of their hubris and their complacency. And at the end of the day, the flashy lights and noises was actually what led to their defeat. Because the enemy used to learn to use flashy lights and noises as well, which actually comes. So with this song at the end, like this could have been cheesy as hell, but it wasn't. It was really impactful. Because it was the three of them basically, pouring their souls out. I felt it. And I'm an old cynical bastard, and I felt it.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If I can get this old black swinging brick in the middle of my chest moving a bit, then it must be doing something right. So I can imagine some kid getting their mind blown. Like, that was a bloody good song. It was well written. The lyrics fit in with the story and the impact. And even then, it wasn't an easy battle. They didn't just come and do flashy lights and save the day. They still had to fight. And it was only Jinu offering himself as a sacrifice. His redemption arc, his moment of redemption, of self-sacrifice, knowing that, they weren't going to win because Guima had become too powerful. And they didn't get to live happily ever after. Where do you see that in storytelling today?
Never. Because it's one of my problems with modern storytelling is that the good guy always has to win.
I'll go back to like an absolute classic, Never Ending Story. One of the most,
even that has kind of a happy ending.
Yeah, but still, you're in the dark places. Not you watch everything fall apart. Then Never just takes over. God, what's like the horse? The name of the horse. I forgot the name of the horse now. Shit. But
Artax, don't remind me.
Artax,
Don't remind me.
Like bloody hell, that was brutal.
Yeah, but that was kind of like that was back in the days when you were allowed to show children things like that because you weren't going to like screw up their development or make them hate people or make them unhappy.
That was part of
that's back in the days when children people actually believed that children had minds of their own and could make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I think this story is almost a harken back to that era. I think that's what this story is. It's an attempt.
Hopefully, it's the floodgate that's going to start a new era of that kind of storytelling.
I'm waiting for the Renaissance, and I don't think it's going to come from Hollywood. I think it's going to come from Korea and Japan.
It's not.
And the more I see it, the more I see the level of storytelling. I see them getting more articulate and advanced. And some Korean stuff's fantastic. I see that being the future, and I don't mind. I'm not like sitting here bitter about it. I'm like, if it's Japanese, Korean, Southeast Asian storytellers that are going to bring us back to where we were, back to a balanced society, and that's their storytelling is going to help us get there, I'm all for it, and I'm happy for Hollywood to burn. I'm more than happy for Hollywood to collapse in on itself and just disappear and become a footnote of the past.
Yeah, in order for there to be any kind of big sea change in like the entertainment industry, something's got to happen in Hollywood.
Yeah, and honestly, Hollywood burning to the ground, I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to go that far, but something needs to happen with Hollywood. There needs to be a massive shake-up in the way Hollywood works and how Hollywood produces stuff.
Personally, I'm all for decentralization.
It's like they're not. I mean, if there's a huge earthquake in California, it just kind of like falls off the side of America and drowns. I mean,
shed no tears here.
so be it. But I mean, the price of microchips will go up. But apart from that, it's kind of like the does. It's like I honestly, I kind of wish that somewhere like, I don't know, Bollywood would take over the mantle.
No, fuck no. Fuck
There'd be
no.
lots of like really good musicals.
I hate Bollywood. As
That was just an example because it's the first one that came into the top of my
yeah,
head.
God no. That is that's why I tried to review some Indian horror movies and they all have that Bollywood shit in it. And
Nearly every single film that's produced in India has a musical number in it.
fucking wank, and there's no need for it. And they're ruining themselves. You know what I mean? There could be good stories there, but they keep fucking up with this stupid shit. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
It's so Bollywood just as bad as Hollywood.
Yeah, that's even their name. No, I mean they just fucking copied it. Like
I kind of wish the British film industry could find its flow again.
The problem is that the British film industry is just it's a tax haven for other countries. There's just renting out the studios. And unfortunately here, it's down to the class system. Only middle-class wankers are allowed to be in the arts. If you're working class, fuck you, you're not allowed. You're not good enough.
There's no way I can afford to get into the arts.
You're fucked, you know, and I hate that. I absolutely despise that. And that's what so it's just become Hollywood comes over here, uses Pinewood Studios because they get a tax break. And it's just that once again, Hollywood falls. Studios don't get the tax breaks anymore because they don't rent here. That'll once again, it's like the 1930s depression. It'll cause a whole seismic shift. Like I've tried to get British film directors not on and find out more about independent film, British film, and it's so hard just to get people. I know stuff's being made there, but they just won't. They're very reticent to come forward.
Just don't want to talk about it.
Like I'm sad. I've got Calvin back on Tuesday. He's starting a Kickstarter for his new movie, and we're going to be talking about that on Tuesday. And loads of Americans and that, you know what I mean? Even Australians and that, you know, people all over the world will talk to me.
There are so many little indie companies out there making films, but getting the money together for them to make these films is so hard that half of the films that you read about or hear about, they just don't become reality. And I think that is such a shame because there are some amazing ideas out there that we will never see just because of the almighty dollar.
But once again, there's on the other side of that, there's like Ackerstar, for example, they're constantly putting stuff out. 7th Street, Calvin, you know what I mean? Always putting stuff out, working with different studios. Like I say, we'll talk about that on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
it's there. It is possible. It is possible. It's just people need to need to understand you can't be complacent. You have to get out there. Hence when I put out the latest submission requirements for Horrific Tales Volume 5, you know, I've made it clear you need to be out there promoting. If you're not, don't come near me. Because I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need you to be out actively making contacts and talking to people, not just for the anthology, but promote yourself. If you're not doing that, why are you even in this game? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't take long to make contact. It doesn't take long to reach out to somebody. And it's like door-to-door sales. Like you might get a load of no's, but you'll eventually get a yes. But you have to do that.
That's just it. It's like,
everybody do it for you.
It kind of feels like everyone who writes wants to attract the attention of some huge publisher. But
that's what you find
the chance of a huge, like one of the big publishers latching onto like a first-time writer is very slim. I think some writers they're wearing rose-tinted glasses.
Oh, without a doubt, I've seen it. That's why I've drawn my line in the sand, because I can't afford to be constantly just financing people's pipe dreams. This has to be a success, or else it's just put good money after bad.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, you gotta be committed. You gotta be involved. You gotta be out there self-promoting. If you're not, then don't bother, because you're wasting everybody's time. But Yeah, this came out even at the end of this here. You know, I mean, the honeymoon resort restored. Things go back to normal, but something's changed, and the girls have actually grown from the experience.
They have. They're not kids anymore.
And even when they talk Rumi into going to the spa, you know, the bathhouse, and they were planning to do nothing, but then they see a couple of fans, but even their attitude towards them changed to realize what they're doing is for a bigger purpose, and even them just going over to talk to them, their whole demeanor, like even this is animation, but they even managed to change the character's demeanor, the way they approach fans now. They're not a commodity.
Yeah. It's
It's human connection, which is what's important, is what keeps the honeymoon going. You know, it's back to actually understanding why they're there and what their mission is.
Yeah, because the honeymoon has changed. Because the old honeymoon that's been kept up for like however many hundreds of years it is by the hunters is gone now. It's a new one. Rumi said that herself.
Yep.
That they've created a new one.
Therefore, the rules have changed, the way you interact. Like, and also the analogy between legacy media, social media, and even moving beyond social media. Like, I think the social media phase that's another thing people are struggling with, and I think that's coming to an end of just the vapid, empty people looking for clicks. People want more. People want genuine engagement.
People want
And that's
real and
there's a shift. We like obviously we're a bit removed from it, but there's a shift happening there as well, and I think they've tapped into that. That there's a need out there, like this whole like the influencer is just it's the legacy media, but it was imposed onto social media. If that makes sense. The
yeah.
influencer is vapid. It's empty. It's pointless. It's fake. I think the time of the influencers come to an end.
I think it is. If it's not coming to an end, it's reached its saturation point. Because
Yeah,
there are so many people out there who are still trying to become influencers and they're failing.
because and
Yeah,
people want
there's no room for any more.
And what's it? You see people like Jake Paul, who were the darlings of. I mean, they were the original influencers, and he just looks like a dick now. And I think even his most hardened fan base are just. I think they're done. He's going to fade like a whimper in the wind, and all his money and his bling.
Gotta be honest, I'm not sorry.
I'm not at all, but it's a good case study.
It's like Twitch, where everyone was going to be a Twitch. Everyone was going to be on Twitch, and everyone was going to be rich because it's like they were going to make their fortune on Twitch. Twitch filled up very, very quickly, but people kept trying.
And then
people are still trying. And YouTube is the same.
In fairness, I would regard YouTube as one of the more stable platforms, even though it's done a lot of silly shit. It still managed to stay the course. And even with the whole censorship thing, I think they've dialed back on that because at the time that everyone was afraid to fucking speak. In case some bot picked up a word you said and fucking banned you because we just
YouTube is still quite a lot like that.
Oh yeah, but it's not as bad as it was. And I watch some people and just listen to them speak. It's painful. It's like either don't say the thing or say what you mean.
Yeah.
See us dancing around it. Fuck off. It's fucking shit.
Yeah, it's like beep like beeping out words that if you were talking to somebody in public are totally socially acceptable.
Yep. But it's just like I said, it's just they fed that into an algorithm. And it just got stupid, just got opposite. Like retarded. Like the whole thing was retarded, but apparently if you say retarded, then that's one of the trigger words, and I'm like, fuck off. You know what I mean? I don't care. Because I'm not gonna compromise myself to that point, because then you may as well just be a fucking influencer. You know what I mean? You may as well be vapid and empty and afraid to use your own language. And that's what I mean. This is all dealing with this, but on like a very mild manner. But there's so many. It provokes thought, doesn't it? The subject matter of this provokes
Bloody
thought
does.
and makes you think about things and thinks a bit deeper. And yeah, I can see why it's really taken off. Because on the surface, you see the trailer or the shots, it looks as generic as anything. It could be anything. But the storytelling's what really made it done. In fact, we have spent over 2 hours talking about this.
Right, the trailer,
Is-
yeah. To me, in a lot of media these days, if you watch the trailer, you don't need to go and see the film.
Mhm.
Because the trailer tells you everything that's going to happen to the film and shows you most of the best bits to keep you interested.
Yep.
This one doesn't. Like it's a trailer done right.
Yeah, that's
It gives you enough hints and enough highlights to keep you interested without ruining the plot.
back to the way things used to be.
Mm.
Keep a sense of wonderment. It was interesting the behind the scenes shots during the credits. of this.
I didn't see those, so I had to go to eat. So the moment the credits started, I stopped them.
All right. It's basically showing there's like the girls singing, you know, the actors behind it, and the whole bunch. So it looks like they've got maybe 2 or 3 idol bands, or one main one. You mean it's like almost like a band doing the singing behind this? I don't know if they're well known or not. I haven't a clue. But it was just showing that throughout, you know, them singing some of the songs.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the end credit now.
Yeah, but that's basically what it was, just them singing, you know, and singing the songs from the movie. And yeah, that was cool. Little peek behind the curtain. And they looked like, honestly, they just look like normal girls. They're not your glammed up pop stars. They just, you know what I mean? They're just wearing normal clothes and they're just singing. They look,
Yeah, I was gonna say they only become glammed up pop stars when they need to become glammed up pop stars.
yeah, but the fact that, like your typical pop star is so fake and plastic surgery and all that shit, and they look horrible. And these just look like nice wee girls that were singing. Like I said, once again, it was just refreshing.
Idols are a different breed.
But once again, you see the ones I'll use Baby Metal as an example. They're never allowed out of costume. They're always in costume, doing their interviews and stuff. It's always the same. What's your favorite pizza? Blah blah. You know, same shitty questions all the time. They've nothing. You know nothing about them. And it's it's. I feel sorry for them. I feel like they're prisoners. It's almost like blink twice if you want to be rescued, sort of thing.
Yeah,
the gilded cage is still a cage.
That is the idol industry, though.
Where
therefore they're not there to live their life. They're there to live the life that their fans want them to live.
But bands
I don't like the idol industry. I don't agree.
No, I don't like it at all. Yeah, but you look at bands like Nemophila or Hanabea.
Yeah,
and you see them in an interview, and they're all just casual, and then they start talking amongst each other about ideas. I love Hanabea in interviews because they just yap. You know, but obviously it's through a translator and stuff, but they start the conversation. Oh, we could do this. Like it's like us in the podcast. We go off on tangents and stuff, and they just do it during their interviews. And I think fantastic. I know what these ladies are like, but they're just normal people, and they get inspired, and you can kind of see what their thoughts is. You know, how they come up with ideas for songs. And what about this? And if we're anime characters, we could do this, we could do that, and you know, just proper nerding out and having fun. And it's completely organic. You can tell that it's not staged. But like I said, with like the Baby Metal, you see the staged idol type thing, and you see other ones that are idol, you know, part of the idol industry, and they're so staged and choreographed. And I like I said, I feel sorry for them.
I think that's a lot of reason why idol bands don't seem to last very long. It's the burnout. I mean, there's got to be burnout because it's like if you've got to keep like the same persona the same actor all the time, it is gonna destroy you from the inside.
You can't be yourself. You can't have a moment where you're having a bad day or a bad hair day or just not having to go fully,
No,
made up.
no
No,
time, no time for bad hair day, no time for illness. You're on stage in 10 minutes. Take these pills.
yeah, no. Like I said, it's not good, but this story kind of touched on that too, which was cool. So that's all right. It was enjoyable. Anyway, shall we see what we're watching next?
My God, let's.
God, we're spinning the wheel 2 weeks in a row. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is
We haven't spun the wheel for over 2 months.
Do you know now we've stopped watching like Death Note. The wheel is spoiling us.
I think the universe is going right. You need an easy one. You just needed a palate cleanser.
There you go. We finished with Death Note. We've only got the live action movie to watch now.
Oh, sorry. Did you know there's 2 live action movies?
There's 4. I thought there was 4 live action movies. So
I found 2 Death Note live action movies.
I may be wrong. God, I hope I am.
There's a Japanese one I saw in the Western one.
Yes.
I watched the Western one again last night, and yeah, it's just as bad. It's fucking awful.
No, there is no Japanese live action movie out there that can possibly be as bad as the live action Japanese Spider-Man.
I have not seen that.
Trust me, you don't want to.
Okay, right. Oh, woohoo. Right.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's awful.
Right. Shall we do this?
Do it. Let us see.
Here we go.
Oh God, it's making the peeping noises.
The Daughters of Nemesis. Nemesis, is it?
I don't know that one.
Nemesis. Rin. Oh, Rin, Daughters of Nemesis. Right, okay. We'll have to. I don't know if that's I think it's a series.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun.
Ah, here we are. Boop. Click. Oh, I like the animation style. It's got a dog in it.
Anime dogs, yay!
And the nun. Although she might be like a Greek Orthodox, she might be Russian Orthodox. I'm not quite sure. Unfortunately, it's like normal looking anime dog, not what the hell is that anime dog?
Oh, we're not getting a Shiki anime dog. Oh.
Shiki anime dog. We need more Shiki. Shiki needs a second series set in the city.
Definitely does, but we can hope. Oh, talking of which, I spent money last night I shouldn't have.
What have you been buying?
I bought the Hell Girl box set. There's a few quid off it.
Got to be quite honest. That sounds like money well spent. That does.
I couldn't find. I was looking for the live action movie.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find it.
Is this just? Have you brought it just because like the Wheel of Fate hasn't been throwing us enough Hellgirl?
Yeah, and also
Since
I know we're going to do a watch party, and I thought, right, I might do it, and yeah, I might end up just watching it.
Money well spent. I'm not going to complain or touch about that. That's money well spent right there.
No, I was gonna watch Hellraiser Bloodlines again. I wanted to revisit that. I just wanted to watch a movie without having to take notes for once. I was in one of them moods last night.
It's understandable.
It's like, I just want to watch something without having to freaking analyze every fucking scene. And yeah, and then I thought, oh, do you know what? Let me just remind myself: is the Death Note live action movie as bad as I thought it was? And yes, and I didn't realize Margaret Qualley was in it.
My God.
She's the one that plays Mia, not the discount Misa.
She must have been she must have been desperate for the money. That's all I can say from what I've heard about the live action Death Note movie.
It's shit. It is fucking awful. And where do you see what they've done to L? That's why I have it. That's why I had a massive appreciation, because I watched the live action one first. The reason I watched the live action is because Willem Dafoe was in it, and I'm like, yes, Willem Dafoe's in it, cool. And yeah, he's the only good part in the movie.
Oh wow!
But yeah, that movie was awful. It's yeah, when we do the watch party, and I think we'll have to. It might have to be a two-parter that we'll watch the Japanese one, and then go straight onto the. I think we'll leave the Western one to the end, because
That bad?
it's fucking awful. It is terrible.
That bad?
You'll appreciate the anime more. You genuinely will.
I'll look forward. I don't know why I'm saying I'll look forward to it, because let's be honest.
You'll have to get that set up for a Saturday or something. We'll get that done soon. But Rin, Daughters of Nimini, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I found the wiki for it. The wiki for it is literally one page.
Nemosin. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Nemosin. Make out of sound damn. But there you go. Yeah, that was fun. We played tonight in easy mode. We're still managing to nerd out for over 2 hours. This should have been a short review, but actually there's depth to this that we didn't realize.
Yeah, when you get into it, it's like, this is going to be a really, really short review, but when you actually get into it, there is depth there. A lot of depth there.
Yeah, like I said, I'd surprise myself how much I enjoyed this. So there you go. We'll see. We'll get that set up, and we'll be back again. And just as to say, yep, of course, thanks everyone for joining in, for turning in the chat. And until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the technical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.